Hello Neil, my name is Raewyn and I'll be your interviewer today. So I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions over here. So I'll just start off with, tell me about yourself and why you're here.
I'm Neil Larking. I've been in Whakatāne for over 60 years. I come here with my parents when I was aged 2 and I've never left. I've worked here for 45 years in the construction industry, building most of the buildings around town. Like that church over there, I worked on that, built that.
Oh, how long did that take?
I think that was about 6 or 7 months.
Wow, that's amazing.
And the church in James Street, worked on that one. Built those things up, so I've done a lot of construction in Whakatāne.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Alrighty, so what are you passionate about?
What I'm passionate about is access way for the general public. A lot of it's been closed off because of people dumping illegal waste, and the easiest thing for the councils to do is just put a fence up and say you can't come through anymore. Well, I want those reopened and they can go and do their proper job of policing the dumping of illegal waste, which should be a top priority in today's climate.
That's cool, that's awesome. So what is your fondest memory?
Fondest memory? Catching 100 pounds of whitebait in the morning.
Wow. Just getting up early in the morning, just catching whitebait?
Yeah, that was before work. Started work at 7:30 and I caught it before work. So.
Early bird. I could not do that. Alright, so who is someone you admire or look up to?
Well, the person I really admire was Mick Doherty. He's a local guy. He played rugby for the Bay and brought up that league player from Whakatāne that's plays overseas.
Oh wow, really?
And he's a guy that used to come up to you and treat you like you're special, always have an interest in everyone he talked to, and was a real gentleman, and I really admire that guy.
That's cool. That's awesome. So tell us about your youth and how you grew up.
Well, I've lived in Whakatāne, as I say, all my life, and at the age of, I've got 3 older brothers, so I don't know when I went to the river. And I remember falling in one day and looking at my brother, and he says, "Look, just dog paddle like the dog." So I dog paddled back to shore. And that's what life was like back then. You just sort of got up in the morning, and if we weren't going to school, we disappeared down the river for the day. And then come home when the lights would come on, sort of thing. So
that's cool. So if you grew up in different circumstances, do you think that would have altered your childhood and how you are today?
It would have altered it if I grew up in a bigger city, because I wouldn't have the outdoor life.
Yeah.
That's why I love this town, because it's the right size and it's got everything here for an outdoor person. Like some of my mates, they moan, "Oh, there's no nightlife," and I say, "Well, go and live in Auckland if you want that." This town is for people who like the outdoors, and that's how it should stay, a smallish sort of town. Well, it's actually quite a large town, but I don't want to see it go like Papamoa and start spreading out everywhere, because our infrastructure won't cope, especially only with one bridge. You'd never get across.
Love that. So what were your goals and aspirations when you were younger, and how did you achieve them?
Well, I just liked the quiet life. My father was a builder, and I tried that, but I didn't like taking money off people. It's not me. So I just wanted to bring up some kids and enjoy my outdoor life, and that's all I've done. I actually played rugby, and I went on the committee, and we fundraised for the new club rooms, the Maris club rooms they got now.
Wow, really?
I did the fundraising for that and the building of that.
That's
and then
awesome.
I was on committee there for over 20 years.
That's
so
cool.
Once I stopped playing squash through injuries, I stopped going, but otherwise I'd probably still be there playing squash.
That's so cool. So who are the youth of Kopeopeo to you?
The youth of Kopeopeo are just the school kids, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you go here after school, and it's a pity you young kids haven't got like we used to have, what are they called? Like ice cream shops where we used to all go and meet after school. We used to hold about 30 kids. We didn't have cell phones or anything, so we used to always sort of go to these places to congregate. So we had somewhere to go, but you guys had nowhere, do you?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I love that. So what do you think it's like to be a young person in Kopeopeo?
Probably not very good. because you've got nothing to do. We had, excuse me, when I was younger, we had actually like not a pool room, but a fun parlour in Kope. So a lot of kids used to go there and play.
Wow.
But you guys, nothing. So I feel sorry for you guys.
Do you recognise the different stereotypes here in Kopeopeo?
Stereotypes, you mean the street boys that live here?
Yeah, people like the street-wise and people-wise, yeah.
Well, it's a different dynamics to uptown, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Because a lot of the people come to Kope because the food's cheaper. Like you got Pack and Save.
Yeah. What is it like to be a person your age in Kopeopeo?
Most of the times it's all right, but sometimes when you get a lot of young kids sort of hanging around in a big group, you're sort of a bit cautious.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's all right.
Okay, that's cool. So, do you think the council could improve the situation of Kopeopeo?
I think the council's probably done all it can for Kopeopeo. They've redone the curbs and they've done all the other stuff. And it's up to the shop owners to do the rest if they want to improve it. The council's really only here to make sure that everything's ticking over nice, eh?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right.
That's cool. Alrighty, so do you ever feel threatened when you come through Kopeopeo at night or at all? Because like you said, when kids were hanging around, you had to be cautious.
I wouldn't walk behind the shops at night time down here. And when I come here, I make sure I get a park close to the Chinese takeaways so I don't have to walk too far. But I don't feel threatened really. But you'd be a bit silly if you went around the back alleys at night.
Yeah.
At my age.
Alrighty, so what do you think the young people of our area want our decision makers to know about them?
Pass.
Pass? Alrighty. So, what do you think our young people feel should be important to our decision makers?
To be honest, I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Because as a young person, when I was young, I didn't have any knowledge of council and that. We were too busy enjoying ourselves growing up and doing stuff to worry about that sort of thing.
Okay. So the very last question is, do you think it's important for everyone to vote?
I think it's important to people to vote that's actually had a look at who they're voting for.
Yeah, definitely.
Not just to tick the boxes for the sake of ticking boxes. Make sure they know who they're voting for and what that person stands for.
Yep.